Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome to the Blunt Lab. I'm Al. This is Marcus. What's going on, brother?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
Chilling like a villain, man.
Just want to give a shout out to NISH, the producer of that track, our intro track. It's called Trap Sax. You can check out his music on SoundCloud and YouTube. And yeah, just give him a shout, man. If you like that song, he's got a lot of good ones like it. So,
That's what I'm talking about.
yes, sir.
We also want to shout out our nephew Nate. If you're looking to,
Yes.
if you're looking for some artwork,
Mhm.
if you're looking for artwork to be done for you, feel free to hit him up. TikTok, Instagram, Levity Creations, and go ahead and work that out.
Yeah.
So what's going
Super
on, brother?
talented.
You know, you's coming up next week.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm very excited the way this season 3 ended. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I just finished rewatching all 3 seasons,
Okay.
and I gotta say, you and I had mentioned how we root for Joe,
Yes.
and I was like, you know what? I figured out why I root for Joe. Because every chick he falls in love with cheats on him, which drives him to do what he does. Starts off with Beck.
Okay. Yes.
Beck cheats on him, lies
With
to him.
Dr. Tommy or Dr.
Dr. Nicky.
Nicky. That's it. Nicky.
Dr. Nicky.
Oh, Stamos. You know, Stamos.
Mm-hmm. Stamos still looks good for his age,
Yeah,
too, man.
Yeah, he looks about the same as he did on Full House.
Yes,
About
he
the same.
does.
Yeah.
And
But wait a minute.
you move.
What's the girl that he was with prior to Beck?
Candace.
Did she cheat on him?
Yes, she cheated on him,
she
too.
did. That is true.
She
Okay,
cheated.
okay.
She
That is
basically
right.
said to
Okay.
her, she's like, I don't love you, blah, blah, blah. I'm leaving,
Mhm.
which causes him to bury
Act
her ass.
irrationally.
Hey, I don't condone. I
No,
don't condone what he's doing. Absolutely,
never.
let's just get that
Never.
out there. I don't want the
Never.
wrong message to be sent.
But he's the protagonist of the show, though. It's like, it's hard not to want to root for him. He's charming. And he's a smart dude, and feel like he wants the right thing. It's just, once it doesn't go the way he planned, he's got to start, taking people out. I mean,
And then
it's
you
crazy.
move on, and then you move on, and he moves on to Love,
Okay.
who you would think would be the perfect match because that bitch is fucking crazy.
But her crazy is on another level of crazy, though.
Yeah.
You know it's crazy if the killer of the show is looking at you like, really?
Like, bitch, you
Really?
crazy.
You really out of just killing everybody?
And her justification was, I'm doing it for you because I love you. And I love how they emphasize the word you in the show
Mm-hmm.
all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And my favorite character is, what's her name? She's not there now, but I'm hoping they bring her back, is Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega, is that her name? Jenna Ortega?
Oh, Wednesday.
The new Wednesday
yeah.
girl.
Yeah. But
Forgive me for
why
not.
did Love kill her sister, though? That wasn't even necessary.
Man, look. Love was in
That
love,
wasn't-
bro.
I get it, but that wasn't necessary, bro. And Love was doing her own thing on the side. Remember, she was playing them games with him. Dating that big jacked up guy.
Banging her ex's best friend.
Mm-hmm. That's
See,
crazy.
Look, Bex was a hoe. Love was a hoe. Candace was a hoe.
You know who my favorite character on the show was? 40.
Yes. My
He
wife
was
and I were
legit,
just saying
man.
that. We
He was
fucking love
legit.
40, dude.
He was a legit dude, man. He was a solid dude. Yes, he had issues. Like,
He had
who
issues.
doesn't? Who
He
doesn't,
had
though?
issues.
But he was a solid cat, man. And, like, they did him dirty. Like,
At his end, he was like, I am the sanest I have ever been right now. And he was telling the truth,
Yeah, he wasn't telling lies.
which
'Cause
sucks. He was telling the truth. You know, he is what Wendy Bird's brother was in
Yep.
Ozark on that
And
show.
taking it, bro, you're in my brain. You're like taking the thoughts out of my head and saying it. That's exactly what I was thinking. The moral compass. He was the moral
Mhm.
compass. But when stuff is so messed up, there's almost no room for that. As sad as that sounds, like it was like
I
40
just
had no
wish
shot.
I just wish 40 just pulled the trigger.
I mean,
But then again, we'd be without Joe and we'd be stuck with that psychopath love. Now,
yeah,
we fast forward. Now, you know, like the way Love cheated on him and then wanted to get at him
yeah,
for him, you know, because Marianne, you know, I'm like, oh, thank God, Marianne, just run, run,
hmm,
run, 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 run.
yeah.
This motherfucker's on the hunt for Marianne.
He gonna find her.
Man, look,
He gonna find her.
they talking about Joe's in Paris. Now there's a show called Emily in Paris with our girl Lily.
Hmm.
Look, if Lily makes an appearance on this show, she's
Hey,
dead. She's dead.
listen. I feel like
Emily's gone.
nobody on this show is long for this world except Joe. I'm not gonna lie though. Season 3, when she was talking to him about, or they're at the dinner table, and she was like, "I perfected the thing this time." I was like,
Oh
"Oh no,
yes.
Joe's in trouble." I was like, "Joe might die.
Oh.
He's in trouble." But Joe, being the psycho he is,
Mm-hmm.
pre-gamed just in
Thinking
case.
ahead.
And it tripped me out the line where she was like, "None of this would have been the case if you didn't pick up a weapon." I was like, "That's legit." But
You
how
made
is he
that
not
choice
supposed to? But like, how's he not supposed to pick up a weapon? He's seen you kill people. So it's like, oh boy,
for nothing.
the dude in the bakery because his kids aren't
Mhm.
vaccinated. Like that what
Oh,
we didn't have to go there. That didn't have to go that far. Like that's what I'm
now
saying. Like
look,
Joe's killing is like obviously killing is bad in all respects. But I'm like,
but I
what he be
understand.
doing is coming from like, okay, this is a just strategic, way to do things. She's just killing on impulse, which is I don't know, it's like apples and oranges or whatever, but it's still killing either way.
And you
That's
know
not
when
I'm
she
not
found
condoning
that
it.
cage?
Yeah.
You know when she found that cage, she was like, "Oh yes,
Hmm.
this is exactly what I've needed in my fucking life.
Yeah.
Was this fucking cage?" But now that dude with the vaccine thing, like, hey man, if I have a kid that catches something that's from a long time ago
Hmm.
that could be prevented, and you're out there subjecting my kid to that, yeah, that shit can kill you too, man. Sometimes they don't
No,
catch those
that's
you know,
true.
people used to die from the measles.
No, for
You know,
sure.
so I can understand where she's coming from because it is her kid.
Yes.
And from her perspective, you know, she's vaccinated, her child is vaccinated, you know. Well, no, her child wasn't vaccinated because he caught the fucking disease.
Yeah. But he might have been too
So, you
young
know,
to get
actually,
vaccinated though. You know what I mean? Because I know
supposedly
that.
you're supposed to get those shots off rip.
Oh, that's true. But see, that's the thing. Like, speaking of that, like, I don't know how any of that kind of stuff works. I know that like we always got shots to like you had to have shots to go to school. You had to have shots to do a
Yep.
whole lot of stuff. And I'm like you said, people
And the measles shots was one
can
of
die.
them.
Yeah, like people can die from these things. So these vaccines are in place to prevent that. So I like you said, I understand that part of it, but at the same time, it's like,
She's still a fucking
yeah,
impulsive.
it's
Yeah. And
yeah,
look,
just murdering. You know?
and she doesn't, well, you know what? I can't really comment on that because Joe didn't finish Candace the way she didn't finish Theo. Like, look,
Mm-hmm.
you push this dude down the steps.
Mm-hmm.
You walked past his body, you looked at it. Why did you not make sure this motherfucker was dead?
Yeah.
Why?
I like Theo too, man. He's just a dumb kid.
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
know what was going
Theo
on.
was like next. You know, he was just, you know, he's in love with an older chick. You know, you and I have both been there.
Yeah.
When it comes to, you know, somebody significantly older than us that, you know, kind of has our attention, making us do dumb shit.
Yeah.
So, I kind of understand where Theo's coming from. And she let him on real good. See, what was supposed to be a tease wasn't a tease because
Mm-mm.
love is a hoe.
But you
Now,
know what the trip was too is like Joe being caught up in old girl too. That's what like led to all of that though. Because like there was parts of the season where like Love would be questioning things and she'd be like, why don't you love me anymore? And that kind of stuff. And like I don't feel like she was wrong in that aspect. But like once he was gonna kill her at the end of season
yeah,
2. And she told him that she was pregnant. Like she brought
that
that up
saved
to
her
him. It's
life.
like that's the only reason I'm here is because of this baby. It's like since you've seen my real self, you're like disgusted by it. But that's really ironic coming from Joe Goldberg of all people.
What
Like
he's disgusted by seeing is seeing
you gonna be
himself
mad
in
at the
her.
yeah, that's it. It's like you judging the killer, like bro, you kill people. But
Hmm.
like that's why it seems like they would be a perfect match, but they're like the same though. So it's almost like they're too perfect to match, if that makes any
And
sense.
they're incapable of being, what's the word I'm looking for? Faithful
Yeah, either one of them,
to whoever.
clearly.
Like for Joe, again, his track record is every chick he falls in love with cheats on him at some point.
Mhm.
Him, on the other hand, as soon as something new comes along, it's like a
Just
new, shiny new toy,
yeah, neglects
and he
his
just,
life. And it just forgets about
hmm
what he's already got. That's what I mean. Like with Beck, I feel like it would have eventually went there too. As much as he loved Beck and like as good as they were when they were together, it would have led to him seeing something new and been like, oh yeah. And then that boy
and,
Paco's
word
what
to the
got
wise
him
to
caught
all,
though.
if you're going to snoop around,
Hmm.
you know, you better be prepared for what happens.
That's
Straight
true.
up,
That's true.
Beck.
Granted, that's like the extreme though. Like, you've been with this person and you see like they've been killing people. You'd be like, ooh, that's a doozy. But
Like
go ahead. I'm
Beck,
sorry.
Beck screwed herself when
Mm.
she found his shit in the bathroom,
Hmm.
panicked. I mean, granted, it is human nature, the adrenaline's pumping through you, so, they played that out the way it was supposed to be played out, but she
Yeah.
screwed herself panicking the way she did, uh, not putting things back the way they were and allowing him to
Hmm.
find out. Like, women, it's gonna suck to say this, but they're natural born actors. I'm not gonna say liars. That would just be harsh. But they're natural born actors.
What do you mean?
I mean, bro,
Like they all
what
have
don't
the
I
acting
mean?
gene?
Yes,
Like they all can use their acting?
exactly. And she
I've
could have
never heard it
acted
put
her
that way.
way out of that situation. Think of how many times she's
Especially
played it off.
because especially considering how much, like how in love with her he was.
Mhm.
If she would have been calmer in that situation, she could have definitely gotten out of it. But
Yep.
again, like you said, that's human nature to like, that's jarring, to like discover this about the person you're with. So like, I understand that. And again, let me go
And the
ahead
shit
and
she found, oh man, I mean,
like,
I
let me
can't.
go ahead
Again,
and state it again. We are not condoning violence or
oh
murder or
no, no, no,
anything of
no,
the
no.
sort. So we are not condoning Joe's actions. We're just talking about a fictional show. Like, go ahead,
This is what
continue,
we like to
sir. I
call fake
just,
talk. This is our
yeah,
fake
I
talk.
just wanted to throw that PSA out there, just in case,
Yeah, I
the
would hate for
world.
people to think that we're into murdering and hiding women, or for any
Yeah,
spouse.
no, for real, like, no,
That is not
it's
what we
not
do.
cool. No, it's not cool. But just saying, like, there's something endearing about Joe Goldberg. I don't know what to
Yeah,
say.
man. Joe Goldberg, aka Will Bettingham, or whatever the fuck his name was. Or
Yeah, he did
like,
change his name.
think of the dude that
And
he
they,
let go. That's our
yes,
boy who played the Penguin in Gotham. Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
that situation is a perfect example of, and even Joe said it in the show himself. You can trust somebody after having him in the cage. Which, me personally, no. That dude made it out. If that was me, hey, buddy's dead. All
I
together,
think
everybody's gone.
I think love would have killed him as well if that was love in that
Oh yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah.
But that shows
And
that
and here's
like Joe's not completely gone. Like he still has humanity. It's just
and
like,
he's not sloppy like her, dog. He's not sloppy.
and think
She
about old
is,
boy, the comedian. Remember the pedophile
yeah,
comedian?
Henderson.
Bro, look at that. You know what I mean? Like I think that was a public service because that dude
Yes.
was a creep and he was a predator.
He was getting ready to do what he did to Delilah to the little
Mm-hmm.
sister. I forget her name.
Exactly.
Ellie.
Ellie, yeah.
Hmm.
And just
So
like
it's like,
the first season, Paco's stepdad, that dude
yeah,
was beating his mom up. He's beating
that
Paco up.
was
Like this dude
that
is
was
a
justified.
monster. Yeah. And he was
Hmm.
trying to kill Joe. Like he was attacking him.
Yep,
So
that was
I'm saying
justified.
there's some stuff that he's done. It's like, okay, he kind of didn't really have a choice. But then there's other ones where like, okay, you had a choice and you picked the wrong one, you know? So
Like
yeah.
with Candace, maybe he did intend on killing her, but it appeared accidental
Hmm.
almost. So then he had to finish the job because he just couldn't
Yeah.
leave it.
Hmm.
With Beck left him no choice, man. She left him no choice. You
He had a
know?
choice, man. He had a choice. He picked the wrong choice. So I will say though, that
Nah.
was really clever to put it on Dr. Nikki though. That was very clever.
Yes. Yes, it was
Very
very,
clever.
very, very,
And
very
it was
clever.
diabolical. But hey.
When 40 went to go talk to Dr. Nikki accepted what happened. He's like, I ruined
Hmm.
my life. I ruined my family. Yeah. To bang a younger chick. You're a married man, dude. You're a married man.
But nah, you're right. He had come to the realization that this is life. And again, like you said, he did ruin his family.
Hmm.
Now we all know that he didn't murder anybody, but
Yeah.
yeah, he definitely cheated on his wife. And regardless when that was gonna come out, he was gonna be in, hot water anyway. So I don't know.
Now,
There's a
I
lot
think
to
the
it. It's
only,
nuance.
I think the only righteous kill Love made was when she killed Candace. As terrible as that may sound.
Uh,
Candace was getting ready to spill I mean, like, Joe was ready to give up,
yeah.
but Candace was getting ready to snitch, and, Love wasn't having that, man. Love
They were in
loved her Jim.
California, right? Season 2?
Yes.
Because the
Yep.
first season he was in New York, he had to leave. And then season 2 and season 3, they're still in Cali,
Season 2, they were in LA, and then season
LA.
3, they took it to, like, the suburbs of Cali,
Yeah, like
but they stayed in
Calabasas or something
California.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like
Yes,
how
sir.
Love's mom was trying to like let him know what was up though. Like,
Yeah, she was
hey,
unstable too.
oh, she definitely was. Their whole family was. Except
Mhm.
40. I feel like 40 was not that bad as far as like
He was just a
his
spoiled little shit, that's all.
yeah, like his mental capacity and everything. Like I feel like 40 was on it. It was just when you've had that kind of history though, people aren't gonna like take it serious. So like they're not gonna give you the credit you deserve. So I don't know, man. I miss 40.
And dude, look, the movie they were making on Beck's book, him and Ellie,
Uh-huh.
had he survived, it could have put him in a better place.
Yeah.
But seeing how he loved his twin sister and didn't want his twin sister to be with a psychopath like Joe,
Mm-hmm.
he got put in that situation, and that fucking meddling cop, like,
And he didn't even
coming
know
in.
that his sister was like that, did he? Because she killed their babysitter back in the day?
Yeah, because he was in the air. His babysitter was his first love.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he had, like, passed out, and then she slit his throat while he was passed out.
Yeah. And like
And
he was covered in the blood and he thought he did it.
so
And that's what messed him up from
that's what
being
messed
a
him up.
teenager.
Yep.
But he didn't do it. That's what I'm saying. Like they set him up to fail. Like
Mhm.
Love was easily the worst villain of the show. Like by
Oh, she
far.
was
And I feel
terrible.
like old girl's a fantastic actress too. Like, wow.
Yes,
She
yes.
kills it. But she was the worst though. Like when
And
you think about that part of it.
talk about what goes around comes around. She grew.
Mm-hmm.
She planted and grew what killed her.
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
what that's the only part of it that kind of makes me scratch my head is like, you know who you're married to. Like, you know how smart this dude is. You know that he's just like you when it comes to this kind of stuff. You don't think that he would question, like, what the hell are you planning out here? Especially if you acting sus.
So
Hmm.
I think she was going under that premise where that concept right in your face, you won't see it
Mm,
because it was right in his face. Sometimes the
hmm.
best place to hide is in plain sight.
That's true.
But
That's
then
true.
again, you're right. Joe is super smart.
Yeah.
So she should have had like little tiny plants at the fucking shop,
Something.
but she had a little garden of that shit out there. Like, "Ugh."
Hmm. Well,
And I
shoot,
don't think
yeah.
she was, I don't think she was into gardening before. So, of course that's going to raise a fucking flag in Joe's head.
Uh-huh.
So of course he's going to look that up. But
Yeah.
you get what
Yeah.
you get. And I mean, I liked
I
how the
don't,
neighbor came in, found Joe gagged, tied up, talking about what did she do to you? What did she do to you? And then finally he was like, you know what? Fuck you, man. You deserve what she does to you. And he went to go get his son. I like how the stepdad stepped in for his kid. I
yeah,
like that.
for sure. That wasn't his son, right? Like Theo
No, no,
wasn't
no.
his
That wasn't his
blood.
biological son.
That was old
But
girl's. That was old girl's son. Sure.
no, 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 no. That wasn't. She was the
No,
stepmom.
that was the stepmom. That's his son
Hmm.
then. No, no, no. That was his son from his previous marriage.
Previous marriage,
That's
but
what it
it's
was.
not
That's
his
his.
biological son.
No, it's not his biological, but he like raised him though. Okay, and
Mhm.
that was from old. That was from
The
the
mom, the
was the
mom's a
one
piece of shit.
before.
So that's why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like not the girl that Love ended up killing, like early in season 4 or season 3. Not her. That was the stepmom.
yeah.
Because
That was a
Theo and them were
stepmom.
trying to figure out what happened to her. Yeah, okay, true, true, true. I'm excited about season 4, man.
The stepmom is the one who sold Love the shop or
Yeah.
got her the lease
Yeah.
for the shop.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm excited about the next season, man. I haven't seen like, I've seen little like teasers. I haven't seen like a true trailer for it, but either way, it's, that's one of those shows is like, as soon as it comes back, like I'm on it. I don't need to see a trailer for what's going to happen. I'm already invested
Nope.
in it, so yeah, I'm excited about it, man.
Telling you, man, he's in Paris, or at least that's how
Mm-hmm.
they ended it in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
If we see Emily's face, I'm just telling everybody right now, she's dead before the season's over.
Hey, listen,
She is going to die.
every other, like Marvel, other studios are connecting their movies and shows. Like, I don't see why Netflix couldn't.
Hmm.
Like, why not? A lot of those, like, haunting shows, they're all connected.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like, the Blind
And there's actually an
Manor and
order to
them.
watch those in
Mm-hmm.
between The
Right?
Nun, The Conjuring, and whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So we left off on the last episode when I told you that I watched the 11th season of American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say it again. Easily the worst season ever.
I do not agree. I disagree.
I This season was a bit much. There's certain things I can deal with, and I understand, need to be told. But then they were just going at it so excessively unnecessarily.
Mm.
Because even in heterosexual shows, you don't see that like that. So the story can still be told and not, you know, get too excessive with it.
Mm.
Because it literally took away from the story that they were trying to tell. Like, I tried to follow the story because, I watched, what was it, 11 episodes, 12 episodes, whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to American Horror Story, like, I rank them like this. Season 1 is number 1 by far. The Murder House is
Okay.
my favorite. 2, 2 would be season 3 for me, The
The
Coven.
Coven? Okay.
Yeah. And then 3 would be Roanoke. Roanoke is a
Okay.
good one. And then What did you have? I enjoyed the Cult, so I'll probably
Ooh,
put the Cult at 4.
that's one of my least favorite. Ooh, I did not like the Cult. Mm-mm. And I
If I
didn't
don't
like
put
Double
the
Feature
Cult,
either.
yeah, I didn't. Was it the Cult
Mm.
that had the double feature?
No, no, the Double Feature was the one before this season, before New York.
Yeah, that was the
The
Cape.
double.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if
yeah.
I don't put the Cult at 4, I would put the Hotel.
Okay.
But I say this with American Horror Story and most other shows, I can go back and watch the seasons over
Mm-hmm.
again. Freak Show was one of the least favorite ones for me, but I'll still go
Yeah.
back and watch it because Neil Patrick Harris was great on there.
Uh-huh.
The kid who played Daddy was good, and I enjoyed the
Uh-huh.
Killer Clown.
Uh-huh.
And there were parts of Freak Show that were redeeming about the season, even though the season was
Yeah.
terrible.
Uh-huh.
Season two, season two was going great
Oh, the
until they went
Asylum,
in the
yeah.
direction of that alien shit.
Uh-huh.
But then you kind of you go into it a little bit, you
Uh-huh.
don't explain it,
They
and
didn't
then you
flesh it
don't.
out.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what the fuck were you doing there? And with the
Uh-huh.
cape again, all the entire season up until the point they went into that alien shit was
Uh-huh.
great. Like, what were you thinking? Like, I'll still go back and I'll rewatch those seasons, but I will never go back to watch season 11 of American Horror Story. Even though I will say the storyline is good,
Uh-huh.
um, I liked how they were touching on subjects that were going on at that particular time. Oh, you know
Uh-huh.
what? 84. I'm sorry.
1984, yeah.
1984 would actually be, what did I say was number 2?
I believe Coven.
I'll put 1984 above Coven
I
and
honestly
Coven at 3
I think I would put 84 as my number one. And it's
over
been,
Murder House.
yeah. And you know what? Murder House would be number 3 for me. I would put 84. I'd put Apocalypse at number 2 because I thoroughly enjoyed the Apocalypse season. I would put
That's the
Murder
one
House
where they were
3
all in that fucking shelter.
and that bunker for the first half of it. Yeah. So number 3 would be Murder House. Number 4, I think, would be Asylum. And number 5 would be Roanoke. And then so on. Like my least
So you would
favorite.
put Roanoke over Asylum because Asylum was the double feature. Because again, I enjoyed Asylum.
No, the double feature was the vampires, like the cape thing. The Asylum was season 2,
Mhm.
which I love season 2. I mean, like you said, the alien thing was kind of dumb. Like when they got to that
Yeah,
part
that's
of
what I
it.
meant. Not double feature. That's what I
Yeah,
meant.
but at least it didn't like overshadow it. Like the double feature, like they literally switched from one story to the next. And like it kind of it put a bow on the first part. Like if the Cape Fear or whatever, the Cape thing was the only part of the season, that would be higher up for
Yes,
me because
absolutely,
the alien
absolutely.
part of it made it stupid. Because I'm like, they just need to stop doing stuff with aliens because they haven't figured that out yet. But my least favorites would be in no particular order. Cult is I did not like Cult. I did not like Freak Show. I did not like Double Feature. New York City would be in the middle for me. Like it's not my favorite season, but I don't think it was the worst season. Like I understand where you're coming from with what you're saying, but I don't know. I look at the performances and I look at the story and I'm like, that was especially coming out of a pandemic and everything. Like I can understand, I can see where they were going. I can see what they were aiming for with it because it makes you think about that kind of like that era.
Because there are shows
Yeah, I wasn't alive when that was happening. So,
like
you
take
know,
True Blood. When we first
hmm
started watching True Blood, there were
oh gosh, love
you
True
know
Blood.
True Blood introduced us to some uncomfortable things,
Hmm.
but they gave you both. You know, and
Yeah.
that you haven't watched Game of Thrones, but I've seen Game of Thrones.
Hmm.
Game of Thrones can be nasty with it too, but they still give you both. Now, again,
Gotcha.
I understand in season 11 what they were trying to do,
Hmm.
but it was just way too excessive,
I
way too
understand.
excessive. Because even shows like Game of Thrones, True Blood,
Hmm.
they didn't get too excited. You know, they gave you the nudity, the sex scenes, or whatever it was, and it just wasn't as excessive as this was. It just seemed
No.
as if that's all they were trying to push
Yeah. I mean,
in
that's
this
fair.
season.
That's fair. That's a fair perspective to have. Like, you're not like shitting on it or anything. Just saying
Nah, because
it's not
the
your cup of tea. And
storyline, the storyline,
that's cool.
because again, the storyline is kind of telling you how things were a little bit back
Hmm.
then.
Yeah.
So you kind of appreciate the truth that
And I
comes
will
out
say
of it.
about like the cult, I will say the way the cult started, that was my favorite start of a show, of a season. The way the first 4 or 5 episodes went, when
Hmm.
they twisted into the political part of it, I kind of felt like it was coming, but
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
know
where it
they were
started
gonna,
lagging.
yeah. And I didn't know they were gonna lean so hard with it. It's like, I understand you're gonna tell a story from your perspective, but I don't know, like you're showing a clear bias. And like, I'm not against any, you know what I mean? Like, that's just not for me. That wasn't my cup of tea. The way it got predictable for me, like the way it went from the middle of the season on. I would say Evan Peters did a fantastic job that season, though.
I will say
Every
this about
season.
that season though, how it how it kind of played out in real life as far as what happened on was it January 6th?
Mm, true, true.
So you saw how I'm trying to, because we don't really like to dive into politics, but you see how stupid some supporters can be
And
and the
that's on
things
both
they're
sides.
driven to do.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's on both sides. Yeah,
Absolutely,
that's not
absolutely.
exclusive
But
to
you see how
one
they were
party. Like it's both.
portraying, but you
Hmm.
see how they were portraying on the show, like you're taking it, they took it to an extreme, but in real
Hmm.
life, it was also taken to an extreme.
True.
So it
Sure.
kind of wasn't too far fetched from that point. But I do get what you're
Yeah.
saying about where they were going.
Hmm.
And I did love the first 5 episodes, the killer clowns. Like, me, I love seeing people get terrorized. I don't know
And
why.
bro,
Again,
I
this is fake
remember
talk.
2016. Like I remember 2016.
Yep.
There was clown attacks. Like they weren't like out
Yep.
gutting people, but like people were getting attacked and being like horrified by clowns just showing up in random places. Like that, I felt like if they would have just spun the cult that way, that I mean, I feel like the possibilities were endless. But
Like
again,
folks who
you
were
know,
in that industry as, working as clowns were literally losing money because of these fucking psychopaths.
hmm
It was
and there's just
terrible.
something unsettling about a killer clown. Like I've
Oh,
never been, and anybody that like loves clowns or is a clown, I'm sorry, I don't mean no disrespect, but as since I was little, I've never liked clowns. Like I'm
I've
cool on
never
that.
been a fan of clowns.
No,
I've never liked
I don't
Ronald
like them.
McDonald,
Nope,
Pennywise,
none of them.
any kind of fucking clown. Love the
Pennywise
movies.
is the reason. Yeah, Pennywise is the reason. Watching the first original It as a little kid. Yep, cool
You
on
see,
clowns.
I read the book It as a child
Mm,
before
mm-hmm,
ever seeing that first adaptation of It. So you can
mm-hmm,
only imagine as a kid, you're reading this book and where your imagination is taking you and
mm-hmm.
how I'm picturing this fucking clown in my head. Like, dude, I had nightmare. And mind you, that book was like this fucking thick.
Yeah, I need to buy it because I've seen it at was it Barnes and Noble. I need to get it 'cause I've never read it like fully. I've like read clip notes of it and whatnot, but I've never like fully sat back and watched it or read it. But I definitely want to get it and read it though, because I've always heard that about Stephen King's books. Like the adaptations are good, but they're never like as like crazy as the books are. Because like in the It books, like I know like there's a whole lot that they couldn't put in a movie because it's like people are gonna be outraged watching something like that, you know? So, like, I get it.
Like with It, the first adaptation, was for TV,
Mhm.
which was good. It was long, but it was good.
Yeah.
When they rebooted and made the movie, that first movie was great.
Yeah.
Then they made part two.
Mhm.
Now, I haven't read the book. I understand it's Hollywood. You kind of want to keep your fans guessing, especially if your fans have read the book.
Mhm.
When you do things like like for example, in the first movie, the first guy that wanted to direct the movie, he actually wanted to keep certain things that were in the book in the movie,
Mhm.
which if you've read the book, it's completely disgusting.
Yeah.
Because in the book, the kids actually all have sexual, have sex. That's how
Yeah.
they solidify their bond or what have you.
And to
So
be
the
like
director,
the threshold to be adults. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah. So the first person that they wanted to direct in this movie wanted to keep that in there. Like, hey, dude, feel free to imply it,
Mhm.
but no one needs to see it
You can't show
because
that.
instead of, yeah, instead of going in a direction of these kids having sex, you have a scene where all those kids are sitting in there in their underwear,
Mhm.
which is unnecessary.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, think about when you were a kid. When were you ever hanging around with your buddies, both male and female, by the lake in your underwear?
Never.
And I don't want to say that's a white people thing. I'm just saying, I mean, I've had white friends. I've never seen them
Mhm.
hanging
Never
out in
seen it.
their underwear with their
I
buddies. So
I thought that was the
again,
route that they were gonna go in the new one
hmm
because like that scene you're talking about, like with them at the lake. But I don't know, like that was like the whole thing. It was like there's certain things in that book that, like you said, you can imply it, but you can't film that.
yeah,
Like nobody wants to see that. That's
yeah, no one wants to
ridiculous.
see it. It's just like it's gross, but there's a way to imply it without having, without having to show, which is what I was saying about season 11 of America.
Mhm.
There's plenty of things that you could have implied. And of course, you can still, again, I'm not saying that don't
Yeah.
show it. But if it's all you're showing, like, dude, why the fuck am I watching this? I
It should
mean,
be in good taste. I see what you're saying. No, no, I
you
understand. I
know?
completely understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
So like, come
Yeah.
on, man. And then with part two of it, you're taking like in the book, none of the characters were gay. Not one.
Mhm.
But in part two, you're gonna have two of the boys, like, they did the same thing in Stranger Things, and my man actually came out as gay.
Yeah. Hey,
You're taking
congrats to
two
him, man.
friends that, like, again, I don't know
Sh
if Stranger Things is a comic or whatever, but
well, shout out
in
to
in the
Noah Schnapp.
book,
Mhm.
none of these boys were gay. But all of a sudden you want to
Well, they
switch
made
the
it
story around.
like Richie was for Eddie, but I don't know that Eddie
And
was.
no, none of them, they were best friends. Every last one of them best friends. Even in the
Yeah.
book, even though they had sex in the book, they were just best friends. All of them were.
I thought the whole
No,
thing was for all of them to everybody to sleep with Beverly to, like, become men, or, like, for them to, like, hit that
I'd have
threshold, or
to,
is it like a
I'd have to,
orgy kinda thing? I'm not
it
sure.
was, I just remember the point of them, it's still gross. Again, let me
It was to
just
be
emphasize,
adults, to, like,
well,
hit that
that and to
threshold.
solidify their bond and the
Yeah.
strength in their bond so they can fight
Mhm.
Pennywise.
'Cause that was the
I don't
only
know
way they
why.
can beat him. They can
Yeah,
only beat him together.
I don't know why it had to be that way, but all of them having sex to get, not, it wasn't gay sex. They were just banging Beverly. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know
But
how else
that's
to just put
why
that.
that's why Stanley did what he did in the second part, was because he knew he couldn't go back and fight. But he's like, if I'm not there, y'all are gonna lose. But if I'm take myself off the board completely, then y'all have a shot, because he knew he couldn't face it again. And it's like,
Now,
that's rough,
you
man.
could have spun, because, the way Stanley was reluctant to do anything in the
Mhm.
movie and even in the book, you could have spun him being gay,
Yeah.
but the rest of the boys were not. And that's how they spun it. Like, you're only 2 episodes into The Last of Us, right?
Mhm.
Take the third episode of The Last of Us. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but I'm pretty sure it's been out there how people are outraged. But I think it was a good episode.
Mhm.
But again, I still don't think they didn't really need to spin it the way they spun it. But again, they did it very well. The episode was real good. For
Mhm.
those of you who aren't into that, whatever. But in the game, I forget the name of the two characters, but they're partners in the game. but they don't emphasize that they're sexual partners in the game. So what does Hollywood do?
Hmm.
Oh, let's make them gay.
Well, I mean, it's like inclusion, I guess, you know? Like, honestly, I don't
Yeah,
know. I know there's like the conversation out there is just, it's just, I don't know. One of those things to me is like, it is what it is, you know? Just, I don't know.
it's
I
like
don't really even have like a thought on it. It's just,
for this episode, yes, they made these two characters gay.
hmm,
Fine. It almost the way the episode went actually almost brought tears to my eyes towards the end of the episode.
hmm,
Like, unlike what American Horror Story did, The Last of Us was able to like put it in your face, but not excessively. They told the story great. And I
hmm,
mean, you still saw, I mean, like, there's open mouth kissing with the dudes, for people who are uncomfortable. You still see that, but it wasn't what American Horror Story was doing. Everything American Horror Story, like, granted, what was happening in the 80s at the time that they were trying to explain it? Yes, a lot of that
hmm,
was going on. Yes, that was disgusting. But again, there's a way to tell that without showing it the way they showed it. It just seemed as if that's all they were throwing in your face. As to where this episode of The Last of Us, you're seeing a relationship. You're
hmm.
seeing, I guess, for the lack of true love
Yeah.
from their aspect. And I mean, like, dude, the episode, I was like, dang,
Hmm.
it
Yeah, I
wasn't
gotta check it out.
it wasn't action packed. It wasn't. They were telling the story and they told it well. Everything about even though some people like to say they're pushing the gauge, and I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. But they told the story very well.
Hmm.
The actors, it's our boy from Parks and Rec.
Oh,
He
Ron
was also
Swanson.
We're the Millers. Huh? Yeah,
Ron
Ron
Swanson.
Swanson.
Yeah,
There we
love
go.
that guy. Yeah, Nick Offerman.
My
Love that guy.
man and the guy they had play his partner. They did a
Mm.
great job in this episode. A phenomenal
Okay.
job in this episode. Like, dude, I told you, man, it almost brought tears to my eyes, but I didn't let
Hmm.
it. I held them. I
Hmm.
held them back. But it was a good episode. But
True.
I will not jump on that wagon with American Horror Story. Season 11 was terrible. I
I
will
like
never
season
go back
11,
and
man.
I'll never
It
go
was
back and watch it.
it was a good season for me. Like, I liked it. I thought the performances were spot on, fantastic.
The performances, again, the
And the
performances are
story
great.
was, yeah, the story was what it, like, I like the story because I feel like it was given, like, me, somebody that has no idea about that era or how to put it bluntly, that lifestyle. Like, it was giving me a little insight to, like, the world that they live and the way they see the world. And I'm like, that's
And
dope.
the way
Like,
the
I
world
love,
saw them.
and the way, and that's the main thing, the way the world saw them. So I'm like, that's cool. Like, I love stuff that's like, I don't want to say like out of my comfort zone because that's not the way to say that. Well, that's not the truth. But like things that I wouldn't think that I would want to watch or, understand. I'm just like, why not,
Because the guy
And
who
I, and
played
I
the reporter,
always, yeah,
he was good.
yeah.
The cop,
And
he
I
was
always
good.
give American Horror Story a shot. Like, I don't care what's going on, what the season's about, because those are few that I like watch later, than when they came out. And I was like, man, I like Roanoke. I was like, man, Roanoke was fantastic,
Oh, Roanoke was great.
Or like the Hotel. It took me a while to watch Hotel because I was just like, I did not like Freak Show, so I might be done.
Dude, Lady
But
Gaga,
she's
when
great,
that
man.
was actually playing at that time, they were
Hmm.
giving her shit. And
Yeah,
personally, I think she did great on the show.
she's playing Harley Quinn in the Joker, the next Joker with Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, the musical.
Yeah, she's like, see, they say musical. I wonder if there's just gonna be like because there was musical numbers in the Joker, like the first one. So I don't know if they mean like a straight up like West Side Story musical, or is it just gonna have like singing in it?
My beef
But
is this: we're getting to part two because part one did so well.
Yeah.
This movie is not tied to DC in any way, shape, or form,
No, that's not
outside
the
of them
Joker.
mere mentioning Gotham and the Wayne
Hmm.
family. Other than that, it
Exactly.
has nothing to do with DC.
No.
Nothing. Absolutely
Mm-mm.
nothing.
No.
It's a waste of fucking money. I mean, granted, the first movie was cool. I think the first movie was similar to Taxi
Yeah.
with De Niro.
I
The
like
only
the
reason
first
why
Joker.
this movie got pushed
Hmm.
is because they used Gotham and the comic book angle. Because a movie like that, think about it. You got a white dude going psycho, killing people. With
Hmm.
with what's happening in the world today, they don't want to push that kind of. So the way to kind of sugarcoat it is, oh, this is a comic book movie. This is what's done in the
Hmm.
comic, when it has absolutely nothing to do with the
No.
Joker comic.
No.
Nothing at all. So for those of
That
you
was
who
my
know
only gripe.
nothing, yeah,
Hmm.
if you don't know anything about DC, do not attach this movie to to DC. It has nothing to
Mm-mm.
do with DC.
That was my main
They
gripe with
just
this.
pushed, yeah, they just
Like
wanted
the
to push a
Joker.
white psychopath killing people
Well,
and
like
call
my
it a
thing
comic
is
book
like,
movie.
if you got for one making a Joker movie without Batman, just that's
Thank
stupid.
you.
But for two, you can't make the Joker a sympathetic figure to where you're
Absolutely
like,
not.
I understand why he's doing the things he's doing. That ain't Joker.
Mm-mm.
Bro, I watched the Joker with Joaquin. I was like, okay, yeah, he's killing people and it's wrong. But them dudes in the subway were good. They would have killed him. Had he not
Exactly.
done what he did, they were gonna kill him.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I kind of understood where he was coming from with a lot of it. And like, you shouldn't ever understand where the Joker's coming from because he does stuff that has nothing to do with anything.
Take those folks who are bullying him at the place of employment. He went and
Yeah.
lit those motherfuckers up.
Yeah.
He let the midget live.
Yeah.
But
Because he
again,
didn't do nothing.
these are things that are not related to. I mean, granted, the Joker
No.
does
He
terror.
does stuff
He
like
beats
this,
people to
but
death.
not
He
like,
kills people.
yeah, but
Yeah.
not like this though. And and like you
Mhm.
said, this has nothing to do with actual DC comics. Like they just attached the Joker name. They use Gotham as the backdrop so they could sell it. But in reality,
And
no, this was like a
push the
new version
violence.
of, yeah, this was just a new version of Taxi. Now, I have been on the record to say, I feel like every DC movie should be rated R. Any movie involving Joker or Batman, anybody involving Batman and his rogue villains should definitely be an R-rated movie because all of his rogues have this thing about doing the most fucked up shit you can think of.
Mhm.
But with that
Joker
said,
beat Robin to death.
yes,
Beat him to death.
bro, he crippled not Catwoman, he crippled Barbara Gordon, Batgirl. Like Joker he's a beast.
DC
Hmm.
does their cartoons great.
Oh,
Marvel's
their animated
cartoons are
is
terrible.
fantastic.
Their movies, I'm hoping James Gunn changes this with what he's
Hmm.
doing. It's unfortunate he's letting go of some of the actors that were
Yeah,
originally, because
Henry
I think,
Cavill.
yeah,
Love
Henry
Henry
Cavill should have
Cavill.
stayed on. I'm not sad about Wonder Woman and the other people who were let go, but
I like Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. I feel like I know like people get on her acting and whatnot, but I'm like, if you just think about it, like when you look at the comic and then you think about what that should look like I feel like she's a perfect embodiment of what that should look like. You know what I mean? Like she's tall, she's beautiful. She looks like, and she was like, was it Israeli army or something in real
Gal
life? Like
Gadot
she's,
is tall. Gal Gadot is beautiful. But if
hmm,
you remember the comic book, okay, and I'm probably going to sound like a perv, but Wonder Woman had big ass titties and a big booty. Gal Gadot has neither.
I
Neither. I
mean,
mean, they could have, if you're going to keep her, I mean, at least add the big boobs. We
but you
all,
gotta
at
remember too
least,
though, the way that these comics were drawn back in the day, like these dudes was on something different. Because look at
well, hey,
like
man,
look at Magneto. That dude was jacked. Magneto was like 80 years old. That dude was
yeah,
shredded, bro.
which was
Everybody is
disappointing.
ripped. You know what I'm
They
saying?
disgusted me.
Everybody's like all the women have big boobs, big butts. Every dude has an 8-pack and big pecs and big arms. Like they were drawing them to be a certain thing. And it's
But
like those
if
bodies, that's hard to like
the
replicate, you
region,
know?
the region where Wonder Woman is from, they're not
But
flat-chested and
was it
flat-booted.
the mascara, or something like that? The
Somewhere out
mascara,
there.
yeah. But I
All
like
right.
that
And
it
again,
wasn't
Gal
like
Gadot is
Linda
beautiful.
Carter, and there's no
Oh,
disrespect to Linda Carter because she was fantastic back in the day.
Linda
But I'm
Carter
glad
is
that that's not the
beautiful.
route that they went. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm glad that they picked a woman of color to play a woman of color. You know what I
Well,
mean?
Linda Carter is Spanish.
Is
She's not
she?
white. Yeah, Linda
Oh,
Carter
okay.
is Spanish, buddy. Yeah, she's
Fair
Spanish.
enough. I didn't.
She's
Oh,
not
okay.
white.
Fair enough. My
Yeah, I
bad. I
remember
didn't know.
some of them Hispanics have that uh, white appearance every
No,
now
that's
and
fair.
again.
Hey, my bad.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't know. I mean,
Oh, no
she's an
worries, no
appearance,
worries.
so.
But
But
Linda Carter was the epitome of Wonder Woman. She had big ass titties. I mean, granted, I don't remember what her butt looked like, but
well, my thing
at
is
least
like,
we were getting something from Wonder Woman,
like, I
not those A
understand what you're
cups.
saying, but like that's just I don't know. Like I feel like the way that they drew stuff, like I can't. I don't even want to go off of it because, like I said, they were drawing like unrealistic standards. Like think about like Chris Evans as Cap. Like the way Captain America looks, like that dude, like Batman, like that's like a dude that is in the greatest shape you can be in all the time. You know what I mean? Or like he's super
Like
fast.
Ben
He's super.
Affleck
It's like
suited the Batman role
he
physically.
fit it. He fit it. I think Robert Pattinson is a good pick. I think Christian Bale is a little small, and I feel
Yeah.
not like size wise. I'm saying like height because I like it. That's my main thing is like, what's your height look like? Because you can look like anything in a suit. You know what I mean? Like The Boys is a perfect example of that. Because
Yes.
the old boy is Homelander, he's not that jacked, but you know what I mean? You can enhance that. What's your height part?
Exactly.
Because I'm like, Gal Gadot fits it because you see her standing next to Ben Affleck, who's 6'4", or Henry Cavill is like 6'2", 6'3". She, you know what I mean? Eyes wise, like she's right there with them. Like, that's what I mean. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I'm like, I
And
thought
look,
she
if you're
did a
gonna
good
keep, and
job.
again, Gal Gadot's beautiful. I love Gal Gadot. I mean, there's a way to duct tape those boobs to make them look better, bigger. It's Hollywood, man.
I ain't messing with you, man. I don't know,
You know what
bro.
I'm saying? It's Hollywood.
I
They
ain't
can do it.
messing with you, man. I
They
don't
could
know.
plump up her butt. They
But I
could
mean,
make
they
her
can
look.
end up. I wonder what they're gonna do. Like, is it like official that she's not coming back? Like, I
Oh,
know Henry
she's not
Cavill's
coming
not
back.
coming back.
She's not coming back, Henry. But I hear that they're filing suit for how they were let go because they were all under contract.
Yeah.
So
Well, they said
I don't know how
Netflix
that's
is
gonna.
trying to buy the rights to the Snyderverse, like that part of DC, so they can
Oh,
keep making them. But Netflix would be losing if they did that because like they don't release movies in theater. You know, every
no.
once in a while they might, but like, you know what I mean? Like they're not going to get their return on that per se. Because like, think about it. Who doesn't have Netflix already on this earth? Like everybody has Netflix or has somebody that has it. So you ain't going to be, you know, you're not getting new subscribers like that for, you know, some Justice League or whatever. I, for one, enjoyed Zack Snyder's vision with the
I
Justice
still
League.
haven't seen it.
I feel like there were certain things, like for one, it's super long, but it's almost like episodes, so that's cool. And it actually splits up that way too, if I'm not mistaken. But like, I felt like there was parts of his vision that I definitely didn't agree with in the way that he went about it. But I feel like they went too dark with certain things. It's like, okay, Batman should be brooding and dark and like mysterious. Superman should be a Boy Scout. There should be no doubt in what he is. This whole
He's
who am
DC's
I?
Captain America.
Yeah, like he's like the first Man of Steel, which I thought was a great movie. But just his whole like, who am I? What is my purpose? All that. Superman don't go through that. He
No.
knows what he is. He knows who he is. And him killing Zod, I felt like was one of those things that like people couldn't forgive because he would have
Yeah.
found a way to not do that. I
Yeah.
get it in the moment. It felt like he had to, but he would have found a way to beat him and not have done that. Superman ain't
Mm-hmm.
killing nobody, bro. If he don't got to kill you, like he had to kill oh boy, Doomsday.
Yes.
I think he had to do that, but they killed each other. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't the same kind of thing. If he can avoid doing that, bro, he's been fighting Zod for years. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's still around. He ain't gonna kill him. Like
That's like
I'll
when
say this
Marvel
to
killed
not.
off
Hmm.
What's his name
Hmm.
in the third one? The dude that
Who,
would turn into the fireball or whatever it was.
in the
Oh
third,
Christ! In the third
was
Iron
it
Man.
Avengers? Oh,
No, the third Iron Man.
oh, you're talking about, damn it, I just was, oh man, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that dude is
Something
one of
with an
Iron
E.
Man's. Yeah, I forget.
Something starts
That
with an
that
E.
dude's
I
one of
can't
Iron
remember.
Man's.
Yeah.
And they kill him off there, and it's like, really? Like, why would you do
Hmm.
that? There's so many stories
Yeah.
involving him, and he's just gonna kill him off in one fucking. Like,
That's
really?
just like, I understand like certain villains being a one and done kind of villain. For one, like, or like, if this is your main villain, like Batman will never kill Joker because that's always going to have to be
Hmm.
there.
Hmm.
Like Captain America would never kill Red Skull because that's always going to have to be there. Even though it kind of felt like he did at the end of the first Cap, we know that obviously he's not dead. Or like Hulk, he's not killing his villains. Like, and that's one of the main differences with Marvel and DC too. Like Marvel is definitely it's more lighthearted, more like fun and like bright. DC's darker, is grittier, you
The
know.
Boys keeps it real.
The the
Because think
boys
about it.
is, I
Can
can't
you
wait.
think
That's
if?
coming back this year.
Oh
I
yes. Can
cannot
you think
wait
if
for the boys.
anybody had superpowers? Anybody had those gifts? That it would
Hmm.
be the Marvel universe? Really?
I think certain
Absolutely not.
people, because if you think about it, like the way they sell it, like, okay, like Captain America, you remember before he had the power, like the stuff that like when Tommy Lee Jones threw the grenade out, live grenade, and he jumped on it and was like shooing everybody away. Like that dude was as pure of a human as it gets. Like all that, like if you get like a superpower, it's gonna enhance what you already are. So people that are
That's what
like
you would
actually
hope.
legit good. But I mean, but think about it, because what it did to Cap, it made him this big, strong beast, but he was already an awesome person. But look what he did to Red Skull. He was
But the
already evil.
world,
That shit
the
made his
world, yeah,
outside match his inside, you know?
the world is full of scumbags
Oh, you're
like
right. Oh,
Homelander.
there would be a lot of supervillains out there, bro.
Oh yes,
If there was
yes.
Compound V, oh, there'd be millions of supervillains out there, bro. I would like to think I'd be heroic, but I don't know. I would
I
like to think that in my
I
heart.
would kind
I
of
would
be in
think
between. I know I'd be the
I
tweener
like some I like
like
some
Frank
Deadpool
Castle.
shit. I like Deadpool, like they're kind of an anti-hero. Like they're a hero. They do heroic shit, but they do it like a villain would.
Like Frank Castle, bro.
Hey, they said that our boy Shane, Walking Dead, they said that he's coming back as the Punisher. They brought
Oh,
pretty
dude,
much
he
everybody
fits the
else back from the
Punisher. He
Netflix
should stick
shows.
his yeah. He should
I think
stay.
they're
He's
bringing Jessica Jones back. I think the only one for sure, the only two for sure that are being switched. I'm pretty sure Iron Fist is getting recasted. And I think Luke Cage's. I'm not positive about the Luke Cage one.
that sucks if
And
they recast Luke
I
Cage.
like Michael Coulter though. I thought he did a great job, man. He fit
Yes,
it.
he did.
I like Iron Fist too, bro. Like people really shit on that show. I really enjoyed Iron Fist. Like,
Here's why,
wasn't the
and
best show ever, but
we probably don't have time to get into it. But
mm,
here's what I'll tell you. You've seen Daredevil,
yes.
okay? So the fight sequences in Daredevil are
Hmm.
phenomenal. Okay,
Yes.
Iron Fist is supposed to be the kung fu master,
Sure.
a kung fu master.
Hmm.
The fight sequences in Iron Fist are absolutely horrible. It literally
Really.
looks like an 8-year old pulling off Taekwondo katas. It's terrible.
Mm. It's
Like,
definitely a difference in the fighting sequences. That's for
I'm not
sure.
saying his acting was bad, the guy who played Daniel
Mm.
Rand. It's just that I don't know that he was able to physically pull off being a kung fu star. My man who plays Daredevil killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. Whether it
Love
was
him.
him or
Love that
not,
guy.
but the
I
fight
can't wait.
sequences in Daredevil were
That's coming back
phenomenal.
soon too. Daredevil Born Again. I cannot wait for that.
So when you have a kung fu master,
Hmm.
the fight sequences in that show should be better than Daredevil. They didn't
Fair.
even compare at all.
And it hurts me
That's what
too,
was
man, because I love Iron Fist though. I love that character from the
Yeah, that
comics. Like,
character
I've
is
always
great.
loved him. Love that character. So I don't know. Maybe because Marvel wasn't necessarily a part of that. So like I feel like just like with the Fox stuff and like the X-Men and Deadpool and stuff, they're taking what was working and then they're just gonna redo the rest of it. And like that's cool. I understand it. I
And they
liked
did
Luke
good with
Cage
those
though.
shows. Oh, Luke Cage
Yeah,
was
the
great. Luke Cage
Netflix
was great.
yeah, the Netflix shows are cool. Jessica Jones show was actually pretty dope. I didn't think I'd like that.
Yeah, it was
Really
pretty good
enjoyed that.
too. But you know, ladies and gents, that's about all the time we have. I
Yeah.
appreciate you guys listening. Please like and subscribe. You can listen to it. You can listen to us on YouTube, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, and Amazon Music. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Again, please like, subscribe, spread the word. We'd appreciate it.
Comment.
Yes, yes,
Send us
yes.
some
And
comments, questions, all of it. Man.
we'll probably touch base on some of this. We'll finish this conversation in the next episode, maybe. We'll see what's up.
Yeah.
But again, thanks again, ladies and gents.
Episode 6. Peace.